What's up, guys? PDC here, and today we're going to be recording my week, I think 5? Yeah, my week 5 SPL game, ORAS OU. I returned to my tier of ORAS OU, and this is going to be me versus Aurious of the Scooters. I believe this was the game to close out the series either way. And I thought it was an alright game, although admittedly, you're gonna see a little bit of my luck from last year return. But just gonna go over the teams real quick. Aurious is running a really shitty balance, and I'm not afraid to say that I hate those types of balances. I ran a balance like this in week 2 with I think it was hit Powdon over Skarmory, and I got absolutely destroyed. The reason I dislike these balances is because they are essentially do nothing. They lack any real strong offensive presence outside of maybe Mew or Calm Clef, and yeah, they do have stuff like hazards to back them up and a pursuiter, but still, they just fall apart to so many common breakers, which is what I really dislike. Which I actually have a couple breakers on my team. I have a Choice Banded Hoopa, Life Orb Torn, and a SD Life Orb Terrakion. So I have quite the, I wouldn't say completely anti-balance, but it's definitely stronger against these type of teams for sure. Although I don't really have that great of a check to stuff like Mega Latias, and the like, or Mew. Mew and Mega Lati are probably the two biggest problems the team faces. But we're going to go ahead and start out the game here, and he's going to go ahead and lead with his Clef, as I decided to lead my Choice Banded Hoopa. Now, I decided to go for the big dick play turn 1, and that is Drain Punching. I considered Hyperspace Furying, but I wanted to see if he was going to get greedy and just expect me to use Gunk Shot or Zen Headbutt or something turn 1 and pursuit me and get Hoopa dead. So I decided to go over to Drain Punch, and as I hit the Skarmory with the Drain Punch, it is 37%, so that's obviously a tip-off. This is a specially defensive Skarm, and I'm going to switch to my Torn, which is probably my best real way to actually get this thing out and force it out real quick. And this is a Life Orb Heat Wave Tornadus, and I realize that he's not going to want that Skarmory weakened very much, and I actually don't have hazard removal. So him getting up a layer of spikes is annoying. I honestly would have rather him roosted, but I'm just going to Hurricane predicting the switch, and I'm going to do a decent amount to Latias. I know this is a Mega, so this is kind of going to be hard to kill. I decided to go for the U-turn, and surprise, surprise, I get the crit, and I'm very surprised that killed. I am very surprised that killed, but it did, and the Latias just gets faded, and it is out of my way. And with Latias gone, that opens up Gastrodon, that opens up Venusaur, opens up Terrakion, opens up Tornadus itself. Essentially, this is a really big opening with Latias dead, and I am sorry for that to suck, but that is how it's done. He's going to go ahead and Wisp my Gastrodon, and I'm going to go ahead and Scald him. I do manage to get the burn on the very first try. I know, fuck Scald, I'm so lucky. So that does kind of suck. As you guys can tell, I actually am kind of lucking him here, which I don't know, I didn't really want to luck my opponent, but I'm about to say, I didn't mean to, Aurious, I'm sorry. But he's going to go ahead and go for the knockoff here. If I wanted to, I could have probably switched to Terrakion there and basically gotten a kill with a +1 Stone Edge, so I guess that was an option. But I just decided to take the knockoff and go for the Scald. And on the Roost, I'm going to decide to swap out to Hoopa. I was hoping he wouldn't go for the Will-O-Wisp here, but I figured he wouldn't because Mew is one of the best Pokemon against my team, and risking it getting too weakened is definitely not very good for him. He's going to Roost up, and I'm going to send out my Cebu Hoopa. Now, he's actually just going to let this Mew die to a Hyperspace Fury. Whether it was because he wanted to Wisp me and thought he was faster than me, or simply because he wanted to pursue, or if he thought I would predict a Tyranitar or a Skarm switch and go for a Drain Punch again, I don't know, but he lets the Mew die, which is really good for me, because that is one of the most annoying Pokemon he can possibly have out against me. Now, he's going to obviously go to his Tyranitar, he's going to go for the Pursuit, and obviously, this is going to be end of Hoopa, not before I actually get a solid 40% hit off with the CB Hyperspace Fury, and I'm just going to let this die. There's no point in switching out, because I'll die if I do and get 0 damage on Tar, so obviously, I'm just going to go for the Hyperspace Fury. He's going to kill me, and this, in turn, is going to open up my SD Terrakion. Now, this team was built by Ender, and I really have to applaud him on this call here. This is a Stealth Rock SD Terrakion. Now, the night before, I said, okay, Terrakion, I told this to TK, I said this to TDK, I said, Terrakion sucks, why are you using it? Well, while Scarf Terrakion may be a complete ass juice mun, SDSR tracking, on the other hand, absolutely fucking destroys these types of balances. He's gonna go out to his clef. Maybe he was expecting me to be a less offensive version, but I decided to go for the Swords Dance, and pretty much if I hit a Stone Age here, it is a... Sorry about that interruption. This classic PDC's videos being interrupted. But like I said, this is pretty much a guaranteed kill here if Stone Age hits. So he's going to go ahead and sacrifice a Skarmory, which is his least useful Pokemon. And with Skarm down, that does open up, I guess, a little more Venusaur or Weasels or Heatran. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It lets my Skarm, I guess, get a little more leeway if he was taunt. I don't know. It was really just a sack. I mean, at this point in the game, Skarm for him didn't really do all that much. And it's considering I'm going to have the offensive Torn or T-Tar out, not T-Tar, have my Terrakion or Torn out more than my other defensive ones, it wasn't really that useful, and was probably his most optimal sack. Sacking Tyranitar would eliminate all speed and pretty much mean I win the game right there. Sacking Heatran would pretty much mean Venusaur sweeps him. Well, not 100% sweeps him, because I guess Skarm can still beat it. Or actually, sacking Heatran meant Torn had an easier time. It meant Skarm had a much easier time just shuffling around. It meant Venusaur had a much easier time. So yeah, I'd say Skarm was definitely the optimal play there for the sack. Now, I'm going to switch out here. I'm obviously going to want to save this. He's going to go for the superpower probably, and I'm going to go to my Lost in the World, going with the Kanye West nicknames, my Skarm. And I'm going to take, not a great amount from superpower, but it's, you know, it's still annoying. Obviously, I am a very specially defensive Skarmory for stuff like Latios, considering this is my only check the dragons. And obviously, he's going to swap out to his Heatran, and I'm going to get a layer of spikes up. Now, at this point, I just want to get up as many hazards as possible, as although it may seem odd to get this many hazards late in the game, this is key to weakening Heatran, which is the last real annoying mon that I have to deal with. I'm going to swap out to my Gastrodon here, and I do make a bit of a misplay. What I do here is instead of going for the Recover, I go for the Earthquake straight up, which I really regret doing now. Honestly, I thought he was going to maybe predict a double. That's what I was afraid of. I was actually considering doubling the Skarm there. But I just go for the Earthquake, and this was a bad play by me. It really was. What I should have done is just recovered so I can keep Gastrodon as a Heatran switch later on, because even though it is knocked off and burnt, Gastrodon will always beat Heatran without taunt. So that was a misplay on my part. Going for the recover there was the right play. He's going to go into his clef, and I'm going to go ahead and swap up to my Skarmory. Now, as odd as it sounds, I can still lose here if he is Flamethrower clef. Although he does not kill me a +1 with a Flamethrower from here, it can certainly be annoying because Iron Head does not 2-hit KO him. However, luckily, or maybe unluckily for me, if he gets a lot of luck, he is actually going to be Thunderwave clef. Now, he's going to pair me with, you know, the yellow magic and all that stuff, which is annoying. I'm not that concerned about it, though, considering I know that I'm going to be able to at least shed a couple soft roads off him, and I can still get up some layers of spikes here and whirlwind him out if I please. I get my 2 layers up. Like I said, I'm really just trying to weaken the Heatran as much as possible. He's going to swap out his clef here and go out to that Heatran. I actually kind of wished I clicked, well, actually I got parried anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I clicked another layer of spikes there, so I would have had the 25% on Tran even earlier. I'm just going to swap out and go to my Gastrodon. My waves don't die. That's actually, I don't know, I liked it. I liked the Life of Pablo. I'll talk about that album as the video ends. But he's just going to kill my Gastrodon, which, like I said, it would have been much wiser to recover there. That way I could have kept Gastrodon alive, so that was quite a big misplay on my part. And if you guys can't tell, my team has quite a few problems with Terrakion. It has quite a few problems with Heatran, with Gastrodon dead, even though I do have Terrakion, and I actually have Superpower Tournament still. It's a very annoying Pokemon, which I don't have a great switch into at this point. I'm just going to close combat, and I'm going to take out the Tyranitar. So he loses his speed, but I can't kill the Clef in one hit with a Stone Edge. So he's going to bring it in. My Terrakion is now getting kind of battered down here with the Life Orb, Rocks, and Spikes damage recoil, and he's going to go ahead and go for the Thunder Wave. I'm just going to swap out the Skarm here. I'm not that afraid of this Clef. It can get a couple combines under its belt, and I can allow that. I'm just going to go ahead and go for another layer of spikes here, get up all the way to max, and Heatran is notorious for recovering really fast with stuff like Protect and Leftovers, even with a lot of hazards on the field, so this is certainly very annoying to deal with. I'm going to call back my Skarm, and I'm going to go out to my Torn. He does decide to go for a Loud Plume. Now, luckily, I do avoid the burn. If I did not avoid the burn there, I do not know what I would have done. But I'm going to go for the Superpower, and I'm going to do a 65% roll. I think that might have been a little higher on the end, but I'm not sure because I do have some attack EVs. But that's going to go ahead and kill the Heatran off. he's going to go ahead, not kill it off, but it's going to at least allow me to bring Terrakion in, which is going to kill the Heatran off. I actually was considering going for Stealth Rock here, but I decided to just go for the close combat and then Rock, so I would kill Heatran later. But he just decides to let it die anyway. He doesn't swap out the Clef. And we're going to see the end of the game right here. I do Stone Edge crit him after he TM'd me, which is actually an incredibly low chance, so I will admit that I did get relatively lucky this game, or at least I got lucky with the Latias crit. I'm going to end the game right there with the Stone Edge crit. But I do not believe that he would have won that anyway, because he was going to be wasting Soft Boiled with Iron. He already wasted, what, I think 2 Soft Boiled? Not wasted, but he definitely used up at least, I think, 1. There's 1, and I think he used another one, but I'm not quite sure. He used 2, so he was going to be at 14 after that, and he was probably going to use another one. So I think Ironhead, Skarm, or Venusaur would have been able to at least beat Clef in the end, unless I got extremely unlucky with Para. So the game kind of just ended there, I guess. I guess it stopped me from being hacked by haxing myself. I don't know. I am sorry, Aurious. This was kind of unfair to you, especially the Mega Lati crit that really set you back in the game. And honestly, I probably should have lost if it didn't get crit. Then again, I can't really tell because the game could have gone differently. And with the U-turn, you would have probably recovered, and I would have went to Hoopa, and who knows what shenanigans would have went on from there. But that's going to be the game, guys. This is going to be my Week 5 game versus the Scooters, and I believe my record now is 3-2, so I am bringing it back into the positive. After starting out with 2 losses in a row, I am now with 3 wins in a row. So this is going to be looking, pretty nice, and I will be uploading my Week 6 game versus Raikou as well, the rematch from World Cup. So we look forward to that, and yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it, guys. I got the Kanye West nicknames. I never actually brought Venusaur out. I think Venusaur was Monster. I think, yeah, Venusaur was Monster, and I did like the Life of Pablo. For those asking, I downloaded it literally I think 10 minutes after it came out. I stayed up all night waiting for it, along with Faji, Weepone, if you guys know him by that name. So that was pretty nice. I thought it was an okay album. Like I said, these are probably 2 of the better songs on it. I really did like Ultralight Beams, and the rest of these are just Kanye West favorites of mine. As you can tell, they are very heavily My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. I recently bumped it to 5 stars on Radio Music, because honestly, I mean, I could go on for hours about this album, but I'm not going to do that right now. Especially considering it is 11:30 at night and I have to render this and upload it because I do want to get this up before I go to sleep. So I'm going to end the video off here, guys. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the video, and I am out. I'll see you on the next one.